Okay, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for coming. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to jump right into this, all right? Okay, so, 你好,你好,你好。我的名字是 Benjamin。我的名字是吕丽健。我叫 Ben。我的中文不好，我的普通话不好，啊、很不好，非常不好。我不会说中文，我不会说普通话。Um, okay, so now that we've established how horrible my Chinese is, uh, none of you could be shy to speak out with us in English, right? So you can call me Ben, as I just said, if you could understand any of my unintelligible Chinese, or you can call me by my Chinese name, Liu Li Jian. Or if you prefer, your Lord will do, or simply Master and Commander. I will go by all of those titles. You can also just call me you, so long as you're polite about it. So, some of you may think English is very hard to learn. I'm here to share with you it's not as hard as you think. I should know. I have over 30 years of experience, so I should know, right? And so far, you're laughing at my jokes in English and in my horrible Chinese. You can understand me. I can understand you. So you should listen to me. It's true. I've been speaking English since I could first make noise as a baby. Okay, not quite. But 30 years, all right? All right, all right. Maybe more than 30 years. Now, I wish to share with you, I've observed fluency in Chinese requires true genius. One must have many amazing abilities to communicate in Chinese. One must have the ear of a musician, the mouth and the lips and tongue of a singer, and the penmanship of an artist, as well as the memory of a high IQ genius. We know this. The tones of Chinese, the strokes of a writing instrument, the vast numbers of Chinese characters. Chinese is darn difficult. And you all know it. You all have that. So trust me, by comparison, you can ace this language of my birth, English. Let's cover what this class is about, okay? And to the extent you have any questions, please, raise your hand. If I don't see you, try to call your attention, or my attention rather, to you. If you want, stand up, wave your hands. This class is about you. I want you to participate. I want you to get the most you can out of it. But let's, at the same time, try not to be disruptive, or interject unnecessarily. Interject or interrupt unnecessarily. Okay, so what is this class about? This class is about service. It's about what you guys do for a living. Our program is restructured to resemble your typical everyday life in your hotel, in your restaurant, your domain, where you are Lord and Commander, although your guests don't know it. We will be doing our best to use real tools of the trade, real life examples of things you encounter each day, each meal, each interaction you typically have with a guest. We'll use physical tools of the trade as well, plateware, silverware, the serving implements or tools, as you know them, forks, knives, spoons, and chopsticks. Maybe even food, like fruits, coffee, tea, me. We'll use me. Or someone like me. Someone who comes into your workspace and speaks in a funny language and tries to make jokes in an effort to build rapport, to create an easy, comfortable, shared environment. That's the goal of this class. We will use videos. Yes, your homework will include videos. Your homework will include watching movies, at least scenes from movies. We'll use recording devices ourselves. We will record you. We will use this information to help you in your learning process. We will begin recording you today. We will look to record you throughout the program, and we will look to record you as your English skills and your conversation skill improve. We will engage in role playing. You will be each asked to participate. Don't worry, you won't be asked to play a role you're uncomfortable playing. If we engage in a role playing exercise, for instance, and that role or one of the roles involves playing an angry, hostile customer, and none of you wish to play out such role, I'll do it. And I will give you an even harder time playing such role for refusing to play such role yourself. Okay? So, volunteers. Yeah, we always want volunteers. You get more out of it by participating. Okay, so I'm kidding to some degree. But my point is, you will each serve as co-teachers to one another. In addition to being students, we're each teachers. And this is not just to make my life easier, but to make your learning better. In addition, we'll have quizzes and we'll have exams. This will include written tests, but also performance tests. We will test your abilities at conversational English by watching you serve your classmates as though they were guests sitting at your table to be served. As I said before, we will be in the show. Look to your right, look to your left. You've just seen one of your future guests, all right? This class is about inclusion. It's about building rapport. It's about connection and relation, about relating to others. Yes, we will laugh in this class, I hope, and that will be purposeful. A positive memory of a positive, enjoyable experience will help you with your learning. This is scientifically proven, by the way. But we will not purposefully laugh at each other, okay? Unless, of course, the laughter is invited. We're here to learn and to have a good time, but we're not here to laugh at the expense of someone else. We're here to support one another, to help one another in our mutual shared goals of learning and advancement of one another, of one another's careers, of one another's English skills. And after all, isn't this how we place ourselves in the best position to be of service to others, of delivering great service, of helping to make our customers happy? Isn't this, after all, the ultimate purpose and goal of those in the hospitality business, the business you've chosen, the sector you've chosen, creating a happy environment? To make things easier for our customers, to deliver them a pleasurable, memorable experience so we can invite them back and serve them again and again and again, but having fun all the while. Our having fun translates into excellent service, translates into an excellent time had by our customers. Here today, hopefully, I don't think of you as customers, I think of you as co-learners. You will also teach me. You will teach me what you need or you want to learn. But you will also teach me how to be a better teacher, as well as a better listener and a better learner. Okay, so some introductions. I've introduced the class and what the course is about. I would now ask you to introduce yourselves to one another and to me. But before you do, let me go first. Allow me to introduce myself in English, not my 不好中文, my 不好 non-existent 普通话. So I go first to offer you an example of how I'd like you to introduce yourself. Our goal in this program is to know you, to know your needs, for us to get to know one another, for us to determine how best to serve you in the advancement of your English abilities and in your professional experience and career. This program is about you, about serving you, about making your time and experience a happy one, a pleasurable one, a positive one. And not just to get you back to serve you again, but to add something to your toolkit of skills and abilities, to open your mind, to make it easier for you to open your mouth with your newfound, improved English-speaking with your English-speaking abilities. And then, to make it easier for you to open your mouth with your boss to ask for a raise. Okay, so let me introduce myself and also provide you with some credentials. So my name, as I've said, is Ben. My full name is Benjamin Lau. My Chinese name is Liu Jian. I was born in the United States. I was given that name before I was born by family, by ancestors in China. I was raised in California, but pretty much I view myself as being raised in New York. I was a New Yorker, a Manhattanite, for over 20 plus years. I'm a lawyer by training. I come to you from law firms in New York and from Wall Street, where I worked at a major investment bank. I also worked at a major hedge fund. So my career is primarily from Wall Street, hedge fund, trading, private equity, deals, and deals, leverage buyouts, M&A, mergers and acquisitions, corporate takeovers. I moved from one island to another. I moved from Manhattan to the island of Oahu. Some of you might recognize that as the island where Waikiki or Honolulu is. That's where I make my home. However, my ancestors, they are from China. So my ancestral home is China, and my ancestral city on my mother's side is Beijing, and on my father's side is Fuzhou. So, like you, I am from China, even though I'm ABC, American-born Chinese. My mother's parents are not just from Beijing. Their parents were from Beijing, and their parents before them were from Beijing. My mother's parents and their family can trace their lineage back generations in China. So I'm very old Chinese, older than maybe 30 years, okay? See, you are to be congratulated for your intelligence and your dedication to your job and to your advancement. For your coming to learn English here with us. You're already on your way of showing me up, accomplishing something that I could not, that is, of speaking another language and one not of your birth. Yes, I humiliate and embarrass my ancestors. I would hope that I make it up a little bit by learning English a little bit better. And if I can teach you, if I can share with you some of what I've learned, then maybe they'll forgive me for my failures. Okay, so then you might ask, why do we want to learn from you, right? You can't even speak the language of your own ancestry, you failure. Okay, so let me try to tell you why. It's a good thing you're not here to learn Chinese from me, right? You're here to learn English, and I have that language. Okay, on a more serious note, let me offer you some information now about my background, about my credentials, to offer my assistance to you in your learning English. In addition to speaking English for over 30 years, my primary qualification, and yes, over 30 years, we don't need to be specific, I've been coming to China since 1988. That would be since before most of you were born, okay? So, see, if I can't learn Chinese, like I said before, Chinese is 不容易. I've been coming back to China for years since then, since 1988. I came back to China more recently for very long periods at a time. In 2014, I was admitted into Tsinghua University to study for an executive MBA. I graduated in 2016 from Tsinghua, and actually from another school as well. So I have 2 MBAs. Okay, so you ask, what did you learn from your MBA program to qualify you to teach English? Or from your experience on Wall Street? Sure, you've practiced law for 20 plus years, but how about your English teaching abilities? Okay, let me try to address that. In order to advise the best and brightest on Wall Street, to negotiate with other lawyers from around the world on deals that you read about on the front page of newspapers, one must be a good communicator. So, I've been practicing my communication skills for 30 plus years. That's as much as I'll give you, 30 plus. Like my experience in law school, my experience in business school provided me with experience to speak with professionals, with teachers of the highest levels. My diplomas, my law degree from Fordham University in New York City, my 2 executive MBA degrees, one from Tsinghua University. These alone do not give me qualifications to teach English, but they did provide me opportunities of learning vast amounts of knowledge and information, and about the teaching environment and the teaching process, and the learning environment and the learning process. These experiences allowed me also to learn about complex, complicated things, and the way I learned, the way I taught myself how to comprehend these complex things, the way I learned how to do these deals, these transactions for the major leading investment banks and private equity firms, was to break them down and make them simple. And this is what we're going to do with how we plan on having you learn and improve your English. We're going to try to simplify the process. Some other credentials. Okay, important ones. I am a frequent hotel guest, not just here, but at hotels everywhere. I am a Titanium Elite, for instance, here at Marriott. And so I receive the best of service wherever I travel and stay. I have first-hand personal experience. I know hotels and I know service. Oh yeah, one last detail. In order to qualify myself to teach you, I went back to school once again. I received a teaching certification from a school many of you have probably heard of. It's almost as famous as Tsinghua. I received my certification for teaching from Harvard University, more precisely from the Derek Bach Center for Teaching and Learning at Harvard. In addition, if that fails to persuade you that I have some ability maybe to teach you to help you improve your English, I've also earned my ESL credentials, English as a Second Language teaching certification. Now, I want to ask you to introduce yourselves. And while that's being done, I will ask each of all the rest of you, as your classmates introduce themselves, I want you to record their stories. Because later, we'll be asking you to demonstrate how well you can recall your classmates' stories, their introductions. We do this to begin our connection today, to build our relationships. In order for us to build rapport with one another, we are here, after all, to help one another, to serve one another, as well as to be served. Any questions? If not, please, let's start with the introductions. Who would like to volunteer first? Thank you.